The news recently broke that 22-year-old YouTuber and social media figure Jack Doherty was arrested in Miami Beach in the early hours of November 15, 2025, after he allegedly blocked traffic in a busy roadway, refusing repeated police orders to move, all while trying to film video content for social media. According to official documents, during the stop, officers discovered that he was carrying an amphetamine pill, a scheduled controlled substance, and a small amount, less than 20 grams of marijuana. As a result, he was booked on 3 charges: a third-degree felony count for possession of a controlled substance, the amphetamine, as well as 2 first-degree misdemeanors, 1F, or marijuana possession, and another for resisting an officer without violence. Bail was set at $3,500, which reportedly was posted shortly after, and he was released from jail the next day. Given those charges under Florida law, some outlets note that if convicted on all counts and handed the maximum penalties, Doherty faces up to 7 years in prison. Specifically, the third-degree felony could carry up to 5 years behind bars, plus possible fines, and each misdemeanor could add up to 1 year each, combining to a worst-case total of 7 years. On paper, sounds like a harsh consequence, and no doubt raises alarm for a young public figure whose brand is built on stunts and wild content, much of it live-streamed in risky or provocative situations. Yet while 7 years is the theoretical maximum, I believe it's highly unlikely that Doherty will actually serve anywhere near that, and probably not even close. There are a few reasons for this. First, the charges are non-violent in nature. The felony relates to drug possession, and the misdemeanors to minor marijuana possession, under 20G, and resisting an officer without violence. Historically, especially in cases without previous serious felonies, first-time offenders often receive reduced sentences, probation, community service, or a much shorter jail term, rather than the maximum. In fact, statistical data from reports on similar non-violent felonies show that many convicted people end up with median sentences around 24 months, and only a small fraction ever serve full-term prison time. Second, Doherty has a very public profile, with millions of followers across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and a history of creating content that courts controversy and media attention. That often works, strangely, in favor of people like him in terms of plea bargaining or leniency, because a long sentence could bring disproportionate backlash, media, scrutiny, and legal complications for all parties involved. Prosecutors and defense lawyers may see more benefit in negotiate a plea deal, perhaps reducing charges, or getting a lighter sentence in exchange for some sort of community service or rehab, especially given the non-violent nature and the relatively small quantity of drugs. Third, even the law itself tends to allow flexibility. The felony is a third-degree felony, which, unlike first- or second-degree felonies, has lower maximums and often gives judges discretion to impose lesser penalties based on circumstances, amount of drugs, prior record, whether violence was involved, defendant's behavior post-arrest, etc. Doherty, as far as public records show, does not appear to have a long criminal history, though he's had past incidents including a high-profile car crash in 2024, which may help him avoid the harshest sentence. Given all that, while the 7-year in prison headline makes sensational copy, realistically I expect a much shorter outcome, if any prison time at all. I suspect the case could settle with probation, a small fine, community service, or maybe a suspended sentence, especially if Doherty's legal team negotiates properly, and given that the charges are non-violent, the substances are in small quantity, and there's no sign he physically harmed anyone or posed a direct severe threat beyond reckless behavior. But beyond the legal technicalities, this situation shines a spotlight on something bigger: the culture of internet fame, content creation, and the dangers of living life for clout. Jack Doherty built his brand around stunts, pranks, risky behavior, often blurring the lines between entertainment and recklessness. This arrest reminds viewers and other creators that when you push boundaries for social media views, there can be real-world consequences, not just for you, but for public safety, for your own future, and for how society treats influencers. Regardless of how harsh the final sentence is, this incident could damage his reputation, impact future opportunities, or force him to reconsider the type of content he keeps putting out. In short, yes, Jack Doherty is facing serious charges that on paper could land him up to 7 years in prison. But realistically, given the non-violent nature of the offense, the small amounts involved, his lack of major prior convictions, and the discretion built into the legal system, it's unlikely he'll see anything near that maximum. I expect a reduced sentence, or perhaps no jail time at all if a plea deal or leniency is granted. What's more likely is some combination of probation, fines, or community service, along with a hit to his public image. Either way, this arrest may mark a turning point for him, and it serves as a cautionary tale for creators chasing views. Fame and clout come with real responsibility, and sometimes the gamble isn't worth the risk.